10 facets that form the foundation of the new world. And I'm going to talk about a very unique opportunity and ability that we as women have that comes naturally to us just by the virtue of our evolutionary progress that enables us to lead the way in this new foundation. And what I'm talking about here is it's that mothering instinct. Whether you are a mother or you're not, we are evolutionary wise, we are just born with that. And anything for where there's a lot of energetic agreement, it automatically becomes a reality. So, there is a lot of agreement about women having this mothering instinct. It doesn't mean that men don't have it. Men have that also. And it is this mothering instinct form of leadership that is called for, as I share with you, the foundation of the new world. We've all experienced a shift in the world. This whole situation with the COVID phenomenon, I call it the crown phenomenon, because it really did get humans to, go within themselves, opened up our crowns to a different world that might be possible. Who could have predicted that the entire world could come to a standstill? And I also say that this whole COVID phenomenon is also very powerful, I would say, equalizer, because it affected everyone. You could be rich, you could be poor, you could be a man, woman, whatever. It affected everyone. So there is that equalizer ability that it had. And it was all necessary from the intention of the divine plan at this time to create this new foundation. So what are the 10 facets of the new foundation, and how do women have this unique opportunity? The first one is uncertainty certain. So what is certain now is uncertainty. So if you can get your head around that okay, uncertainty is what is certain. Now think about it as a mother. The whole cycle of pregnancy, childbirth, and the initial child rearing. The one thing you are certain about is that you are a mother and you're going to create a realm of safety and security for this being. And other than that, you're prepared for all forms of uncertainty. Now you can map that. In my whole understanding, the moment you have experienced something, just like when you learn yoga or Pilates, you do a posture, you do it right, a cellular memory is created, and you can repeat it again. The same thing applies to this. We've experienced it, and even if you've not given birth, you have that natural instinct. There's lots of evidence of other women that you can learn from, and you can completely map it onto wherever you are. The second facet of this foundation is unknown is the known. Who would have predicted that entire world would come to a standstill? Even airports closing down, and that we would actually lock ourselves up in our room and come out barely in the balcony and bang some, to cheer the health workers on, bang some plates and stuff, and the entire world was doing it. Who would have predicted? Unknown is the known. So in this realm of the unknown, think about it. As a mother, the one thing you do know is you are a mother and this is your child, and you're going to just do what you can to make it okay. You know that. Now, once you are able to handle that, everything else can be unknown. You will not be deterred. Right? The third piece is change is constant. Yes, I've heard that the change is, it's what is constant. It's actually happening all the time. All the time. COVID's here, not here, all that stuff. COVID's a great example of how it's showing up. The fourth one is take nothing for granted is the modus operandi. So as a foundation, this is the key thing to remember. What I'm talking about here is this is a foundation of the new world where take nothing for granted is the modus operandi. So if you get very attached to a particular way of doing something, and you can't take it for granted. It can change tomorrow. As a mother, we know that completely, So we can utilize that natural instinct in a very powerful way. Now we are going to some switches that have taken place. There is a switch. There's a switch from survival to thriving. So sure enough, survival instinct is good. Now you can lead your organization helping everyone survive. As a mother, you don't do that. You don't just teach survival to your children. You are about thriving, that they will thrive in the world, right? And that is the foundation. So you can imagine, as women leaders, it's important for us to step into our knowing. We know this world. We've lived this world. And even if we haven't lived it ourselves, there's more than enough examples out there for us to learn from and emulate and build on. Then there's another switch, a switch from sustainable to regenerative. Sustainable is good, Developing something that creates sustainability is good. But if you actually focus on strategies that are regenerative, so we're talking about empowerment in the political world of women leadership, right? Developing strategies that enable that to become regenerative means you don't have to keep working on that again and again. We will be creating leaders who will actually be regenerating what has already happened so we can focus our attention on another issue that requires to be worked on. We know that. We don't just create an environment at home even for our children that just helps them sustain themselves. No, we don't. It is regenerative. The child becomes independent at every step. We naturally think regenerative strategies. Let's really get that cellular memory and apply it to our work, to wherever we are. There's another very interesting piece, which is that unconditional acceptance is the lubricant that lubricates expansion. So acceptance is one thing. Acceptance with regret is another thing. And it's acceptance because you have to, Really, it is unconditional acceptance. When you accept something just because you think you have to, there's a part of you that resents it. You may forget, years pass by, decades pass by, you forget. However, energetically, it's there. Like an internal energetic cancer that can lodge into your physical body at any time. So practice unconditional acceptance. As mothers, we do that naturally. It comes to us. Now, we don't just roll over with our children. We do tell them what we don't like about them and what is it that they requires to be changed. So there is acknowledgement we use of the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. And we unconditionally accept what is, and we co-create, a way in which this behavioral tantrum can be rectified. We can do that at work. We can do that everywhere. That is what lubricates expansion. Collaborative, there's a shift, another shift. Shift from command and control to collaborative co-creation of coexistence. Command and control strategies created the systems as we've known it, and they've had all, their time was right and it is okay. The new foundation is about collaborative co-creation of coexistence. It comes naturally to us as women, and you can imagine if as a woman, I take my entire life, all aspects of my life, I want them to coexist. I want them to coexist with JEGO, joy, ease, and grace omnipresent. I can't do it by myself. I'll be exhausted, So it is a collaborative co-creation of coexistence. So, if we adopted those strategies, we wouldn't be harming the environment. It is about coexistence. A tree wouldn't have value just because it's chopped. In the forest, it'll have value because we are about coexistence. So think about those type of strategies. And there's another very important switch, which it's an up-leveling actually. It's an up-leveling from alignment to flow to coherence. Now, we've all been leaders in our own right. And it's great to have a team that is aligned, right? And that's great. You have a goal and you work at aligning everyone. Now, what if you had every member of the team in flow? Right? They were in their own flow. They will align themselves. That's regenerative. Now, what if you went even further and really got people to be able to feel confident to be in their truth? They are coherent with their truth. Anything is possible. Think about it. As a mother, we are coherent. We are in that complete coherence. And therefore, flow comes even when the world might be falling apart. So that's one set of up-leveling. There's another one, which is a switch from fantastic results to extraordinary results. Fantastic results are good, but they are fantastic from someone's perspective, right? So they're not necessarily holistic. Extraordinary results is a combination of three things: unprecedented performance, operational excellence, and transforming quality of life for you as the leader, for your stakeholders, which includes your family and friends, and for the planet. And these three things can be run together. So in our Federation 100, which is the business collective, that is our focus. How do we get business leaders to take that on? And COVID was such a wonderful, I would say, playground for these leaders, because they had to come up with extraordinary results. Unprecedented performance in certain industries just didn't exist. So, really, how do you, now that see, in my world, there's a flow you go through. There's data, there's information. That information you put into practice, it becomes knowledge. You keep practicing it a lot, it becomes wisdom, and then it goes into a knowing. I'm saying to you, as women, you already have that knowing, that you are a leader that actually can demonstratively work with each and every facet of which makes the foundation of this new world. You have it. It's there. That knowing is there, right? Today I've given you some stuff which lands as data, but because the knowing is there, you'll connect the dots really fast. So 3 questions I would leave you with, which you can use to get that knowing into your conscious awareness, right? The first question is, before you rush into doing something, ask, is this mine to do? It creates an automatic pattern interrupt, and if the answer is no, you're now activating your intuitive instincts. If the answer is no, don't do it. But if the answer is no, and you feel it has to be done, I'm the only one who's been doing it up to now, then you ask the question again, what is mine to do? You may find it's yours to inspire, it's yours to, delegate. Take that action. The second question, if you find yourself doing something because you feel you have to, it is expected of you, you need to, right? You may still go ahead and do it. I invite you to ask this question, because my intention is I'm a champion for every woman, really being stationed in this state of JEGO, joy, ease, and grace omnipresent in all areas of their life. So I would ask you to ask this question, what if I didn't have to? Would I choose to do this? There is no have to needed. There is no need to required. So ask this question, what if I didn't have to? Would I choose to do it? And if the response is yes, go ahead and do it. And one of the questions many times mothers ask is, well, so many times I don't have, if I was to ask this question, I may not choose to do it. And you may still choose to, but at least you are honoring yourself. You're honoring your own self-worth by asking that question. And over time, you will develop your own strategies where you leverage these 10 facets that I've talked about. The third question, and that's the fun one, which is a question called, how much better can it get? Right? Even if you're in the worst of situations, find something that you can actually feel enthused about and ask the question, how much better can it get? Now, what I'm getting you to do here is I'm activating the entire universe, the energy of the universe, because the universe applies a multiplier effect to whatever you're vibrating. I have had people turn around physical conditions by just literally going, how much better can it get? How much better can it get? How much better can it get until that physical condition is gone? So these are the 3 questions that will enable you to get reconnected to that inner knowing, because evolutionary power that you already possess of the mothering instinct, you can leverage that at this time. And men, you birth yourself every single day. You have that mothering instinct as much as we do. So utilize it. That's all I wish to say. Thank you.